Okay, hi, Mr. Algarmi's class. My name is Mr. Mara. I'm the art teacher here at Centerville. I teach the art experience class and the digital imaging class. Art experience is kind of like a general art class, and then digital imaging is like a graphic design course. And Mr. Algarmi asked me if I could kind of talk to you about some of the things that you're looking for when you're looking at artwork and how you can kind of tell the difference between some good artwork and bad artwork here. So I want to talk about just like a few things that you can look for when you're looking for an artwork. I think the most important thing for you to think about is when you look at the artwork is to just kind of like generally look at it and see what it is that the artist is trying to show or communicate to you. All artwork, the artist is trying to communicate to you, whether it's like a portrait or a landscape or some other type of like drawing or painting. They're trying to communicate some ideas to you. And one of the things that I first do when I look at an artwork and try and decide like whether or not it's a good piece of artwork is I look at some of the technical skill. And so whatever medium that is, whether it's like a sculpture or a piece of ceramics or it's like a photograph or a painting, something like this here, is look for the technical skill, and that'll kind of give you a good idea of like how good of an artist the person is. And so like these here, these are kind of some more traditional type of like paintings here. The one on the left is a more current artist named Kehinde Wiley, and he's an artist. He's an American artist that is making work today. And then this one on the right is Caravaggio, and he is an artist from the Italian Renaissance. So like these are pretty easy examples of some good technical skill. These painters are really talented painters. The painting looks very lifelike. And the subject matter is drawn really well. And then they both kind of look at this, look at their subjects very differently here. The other thing I'm looking for when I look at an artwork is I look at composition, and composition can mean a few different things. When I look at composition, you can look at composition and kind of decide how the artist is sort of like leading your eye throughout an artwork here. So like this painting on the left of the School of Athens, the artist Raphael is using one point perspective in this painting, and he's kind of directing you through all of these kind of crowds of famous artists and mathematicians and scientists and stuff like that to kind of look at this main sort of focal point. And these are the lines here that are kind of leading your eye here to the middle there to be where it should go. And then the other thing about composition is also just how the artist is kind of combining all the different elements together in the artwork. So that could be like this Kandinsky painting on the right, looking at all the different colors that he's using and how he's kind of like guiding your eye through the artwork. So I kind of like start on the left hand side and then sort of move towards the middle here and then just kind of like all over here. But he's got this like vast array of really bright colors here, but then it can also be all the different parts that they're combining together, like a sculpture. Maybe they're combining color with like scale, with texture, with form here. It can be all sorts of different things in composition, but it's how all like the pieces sort of coalesce and come together to look at the artwork. And then the last thing that I look for when I'm looking at an artwork is I think about content. So what is it that the artist is trying to communicate? So this like famous painting by Pablo Picasso called Guernica, which is about the tragedies of war. It's kind of an anti-war painting, but also this is a specific moment in world history during World War II here. Artists are trying to communicate, a vast array of different ideas, whether it's like political, social, personal. They have all sorts of different ideas that they're trying to communicate to you. But then you, as a viewer, when you look at an artwork, you also bring your own perspective when you're looking at an artwork here. So it's kind of like a conversation between you and the artist. And that's one thing that I find really exciting about artwork is you're communicating with this person who you've never met, who might still be alive, who might be dead. And you are having a conversation together, and it's kind of a really personal and impactful thing here. In the art class, we also talk a lot about the elements of art and the principles of design, and we talk about those in my art classes here. And these you can also use as ways to kind of help guide you when you're looking at an artwork here and help you understand what's going on in the artwork here. So the elements of art are like the things that make up an artwork. So line, shape, form, value, color, and space, texture, and space. And then the principles of design is how an artwork is organized. So the different texture, like different patterns that they're using, or different ways that they organize the painting, all the things that kind of coalesce and come together to make an artwork here. Okay. In the end, when you look at an artwork, I think you guys look at images every day. You have a pretty good idea of what makes kind of a good composition, whether you think about it or not. But when you look at an artwork, I would think about kind of all those things kind of coming together and deciding whether or not this artwork is successful in communicating the idea that the artist is trying to communicate. Okay.